In Trinidad and Tobago, the environmental group Fishermen and Friends of the Sea successfully obtained a temporary injunction to halt a $59 million highway extension in East Trinidad. The General Secretary of the group, Aboud, claims the highway will damage the environmentally sensitive Aripo Savannah, which is home to several species, including the red-bellied macaw. The temporary injunction will last until Monday, when there will be another hearing. For more on this, we're joined by Aboud on Skype. He's the General Secretary of Fishermen and Friends of the Sea, the organization challenging the construction of the highway. Hello, Gary. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us, and thank you.
So how did you all find out about this potential damage to the Aripo Savannah? We saw the video there.
Well, we have particularly well-evolved legislation to protect the environment. So there is a level of transparency and consultation that's supposed to occur. We were informed of the fact that the 9 technical officers who work in the environmental agency all condemned the applicant because the applicant never supplied critical data to review the application, such as baseline data. Now, this area is an environmentally sensitive area which is legislated for the highest degree of protection. Only one of 3 places in the entire country. This area that you see here, if the camera, when the drone is complete on this filming, you'd realize that what they're supposed to put is a buffer zone that is 1.5 times wider than the highway. That's the highway you're looking at there, and it's cutting through a forest reserve. There are also issues about the forest reserve, but outside of the forest reserve is this environmentally sensitive area which contains biodiversity that you cannot imagine. It contains plants, for instance, that eat insects, a very rare and sought after item. But the critical issue here is that in the first instance, they didn't grant the approval lawfully because there was no consultation as required in law. And the senior parties involved in the Environmental Management Authority, politically appointed, of course, overruled the technical officers and granted the approval in a way that does not consider the endemic species and the multiplicity of an ecosystem that contains amphibians and reptiles and mammals.
Quick question. How confident are you that the injunction will be upheld on Monday, considering that the construction of this highway has been particularly controversial?
Well, confident it depends on your audience, because your audience hopefully are some people who have an appreciation. That's the buffer zone on the left hand of the screen, and behind that bar of trees, which is just about 20 feet wide, it's supposed to be wider than the highway cutting itself. So there's a violation there, and we have other footage of other violations occurring. And this illegal activity, when I say illegal, I mean what they have done is they have sprung the construction on us, because they have given us assurances inside and outside of court, both in person and in formal writing, that the application had not yet been complete. And so when they started, what you're seeing there is just 1 week of work. Yes?
But considering that they've sprung the construction on you, are you confident that you're going to get a positive response in the court on Monday? That's what I'm asking. What do you assume your chances are?
I am more confident because you and your audience have a technical appreciation of environmentally sensitive species and areas. And for those who care to read about it, you can go onto the Fishermen and Friends of the Sea website at FFOS on Facebook. You just put Fishermen and Friends of the Sea Facebook, and you can see for yourself firsthand a lot of the degradation. If you also go to the Environmental Management Authority of Trinidad and go to their website, you will see that they have large sections of their website devoted to describing in a proper technical terminology some of the intricate biodiversity that exists in this area.
We're running out of time, so we're going to have to cut the interview short. I will link to your website and to the EMA's website on the Aripo Savannah on my Twitter account, so any tell us your. So thank you so much for talking to us. We've been talking to Aboud. He is the General Secretary of Fishermen and Friends of the Sea. And we are going to go to a very short break, so please stay with us.